The 356 mower. This was one of two offerings in Oliver's modern line of 3-point mounted mowers. The other was the 351. And with the advent of these tractors with an actual integrated 3-point hitch, they needed more tools that would fit on it, and one of them that people wanted was this 3-point mower. So Ford made something similar. I actually had one, and I didn't like the Ford one as well as this, so I think they did make some improvements. The 356 is a pitman drive mower, meaning that it has this wooden rod to drive the sickle, and as the power takeoff spins, the wooden rod just goes back and forth and cuts. And the other one had what they called a balanced head, and it used a long belt that went down, and it drove right at the end, kind of like your more modern heads on combines and things. And that is really the better of the two. You can mow a lot faster with those, it seems like, but this is still a good mower, and they sold quite a few of them. Some things that they had on them: this handle here is to adjust your tilt of your cutter bar, and so you could change it for different conditions. There were all kinds of adjustments, like over here you could adjust your lead in of the cutter bar, meaning how it was forward of 90 degrees so that when you cut it was straight and it worked good. It has this lifting mechanism that runs with a cable, so when you pick it up past a certain point, it lifts the cutter bar up off the ground, and then you could clear obstructions or turn around or whatever you had to do. And it also, like most mowers of the time, had a breakaway, so if you hit something hard with the cutter bar, it would unlatch and hinge away from the mower frame so that you didn't tear anything up or bend your cutter bar. It also had different top link mounting brackets depending on what tractor you were going to put it on. If you had a regular, like a little Ford or Ferguson style tractor that had the yoke up here with the top link, then it had a piece you could bolt in that had a what they call a Heim joint, or like a ball end on that end. And then if you used it on these 4-digit tractors, it had a piece similar to this. This is not original, somebody made this before I got it, but it just cleviced onto this part of your top link, and then you were ready to go. This mower's in kind of rough shape. You can see places where they broke it and tried to reinforce it and different things. There's a place on the cutter bar, it's been brazed up too. But I got this in a partial payment for doing some work on a Farmall M for a guy, and I got this mower and some cash, and I was happy. I take Oliver's as payment. That's a good deal. But anyway, I use it to mow ditch banks and things like that. I use it to mow along my driveway because it's kind of got a steep side to it, and it works good for that. So I think we'll go out now and we will do some cutting with it, and I'll show you how it works. Before we start mowing, take a look at this video I shot earlier on repairing the sickle. I had a section that I broke out the other day and needed to fix that before we could do anything. Well, here you can see the sickle. It's missing an end section, and then this section's flat from where I hooked something mowing the ditches. And then down here is a section where the points broke off. And the way back way we did it was you'd grind off the rivets, and then you'd try to take a punch and you'd try to punch them out and then get it off of there, and then put the new ones on, put it over the anvil, hammer the rivet down, and there you had a new section installed. But then we got this thing, which I really like. It's called the Johnson Sickle Servicer. And what I like is it does 3 different things in one. And I'll show you. So the first thing you need is to get rid of the section that you are going to replace. So if you lay it in this, and it's probably easier with 2 people, but I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can set you down somehow and not hit you. I don't think sitting down is gonna work. Okay, so you lay the sickle in this groove like this, and then this arm, when you pull the handle, is gonna break the rivets and push that section off. Okay, that's a pretty good view if it works. So you gotta get it sitting in there just right. And like I said, one person, it's kind of hard to do because the weight of the sickle is there. Now, it should pop right on. Get some leverage on it. And there you have that part done. And we'll go ahead and do the other one while we're doing this part of the operation. This one's more in the center of the sickle, so it's a little bit better balanced. There we go. See, it's just going to push against the back side and break that off. Now part two, we have to get these rivets out that we left behind. They're still stuck in there. And there's two down there. And for that, there's another place on this machine that does that. So you see there's this pin and a hole, and that's where we're going to put it to get the rivet out. Let's see if I can get you in the shot where you can see it. So there we go. Pushes it right out of there. A lot easier than a hammer and a punch. All right, now to rivet the new ones on, we're going to move it up and use this. I don't know if you can see it there by my finger, but it's a little, like a little die that'll help form the rivet correctly. So we'll put the rivet in and then use this to form it the way it should be. I can't guarantee that your sickle will be the same, because by this point in life, who knows what's been stuck in here, but the sections that fit this one are the ones that say B minus. There's all kinds. There's like B plus, B minus. I think there's one that's just regular B. There's A's and C's. So you got to make sure what you get so you get the right hole spacing. And these are the ones that fit this. Now the trick is to hold both rivets in while you do this, because you want the other one to be in the right spot. And when you move the first one, it may not keep the hole right if you don't have it in there. So I could probably put it through from the top. That's going to be a mistake, but we'll see. Well, that one, this one here is really, I guess, picture perfect. That one's a little bit smeared, but it should still work for a while, so I'm not going to redo it right now. So once again, if you take your time, you can get them almost picture perfect. If not, they get kind of smeared, but hey, it still works. So now, to put the sickle back in, we have to slide it through from this end and put it in this way. Now, we have to get this back on there, and what you have to do is spring this piece backwards. It's got a spring on it, and this one is so beaten up it doesn't really work very good. I have to cheat and kind of hit it with a hammer, but you're not supposed to have to do that. You should be able to just hold it back and then tap it on. But like I said, my ears on this are bent, and I only use this for mowing ditches, so it's kind of cheating to do that. You shouldn't have to hit it like that, but that's the way it works. Some more mower things I should mention is you want to make sure you get the correct guards now, since they're aftermarket, and the ones I use are these blue ones, the 800s. And the reason I use those is because the height of the ledger plate is right where the knife rides against it. Because remember, this is supposed to work like a pair of scissors. So I had the green ones all the time on our other mower, and they weren't the right height. The ledger plate was way low, and that doesn't really work good. So you want them to sit right on there, because like I said, it works like a pair of scissors. This is very, very wore out, but for what I use it for, it's going to work like this and just fix stuff as it needs to be fixed. Another thing, when we make our own parts now, because they don't make things from the dealer, is the pitman. My pitman's about junk. I made this when I first got it years ago, but you'd basically just get a blank of wood and you have to drill the holes to put it in there. And people, when they make them, they think, oh, it doesn't matter what I do, just drill the holes, put it together. Well, it really makes a difference, because what you want is you want these sickle sections to change direction when they're in the center of a guard like this. What I mean is when it's at its most travel, it's changing direction in the guard. If you're at the most travel and it changes direction, let's say like here, then it's going to clog up. It's going to cause a lot of trouble. It won't cut as good. So you need to make sure when you measure it that you get it where it changes direction in the center of a guard, and then when you go through the whole cycle, that it changes direction again there in the center of a guard, and then it will cut correctly. Some more mower tips. When you set this bar up, you actually want it to lead, the outside edge to lead the tractor a little bit. In other words, you don't want it to be 90 degrees to the tractor when you start, because as you mow, the pull back from the grass and things is going to drag the cutter bar backwards, and then it won't cut very good if it's back. So you want to make sure that when you start, it's leading you, so that by the time the grass pulls it, you're at a perfect 90 degrees to your tractor. Well, I usually mow in such a way that I don't have to fold the cutter bar up like you saw. I just drive down back home with it hanging over the other side. But I want to go in here where we went the other day and cut all this dead stuff down that the utility company sprayed. I don't like the looks of these weeds, so I know we won't make it through that one narrow place up there with the cutter bar down. And since the cutter bar's on the opposite side, we have to mow on our way back out. So we'll fold it up and then go down there. Well, remember when I talked about it had a breakaway? I snagged a tree limb coming through here and I broke it away. So we're gonna have to latch it back before we start. And the easiest way is just to put the cutter bar down and push against something. I don't think I can do it by hand. No. So we'll lay it down and then we'll do that. See if this little tree is enough. There we go. Take a look at what a difference a little over a week makes. Last time we were out here in that video mowing, these were dark green. And it seems like just overnight they turned and they're starting to get ready. So it won't be very long now, maybe another week or two. Well, that's done. That's one of those projects that really wasn't that important, but I drove by it every day and didn't like the way it looked with just those few little stragglers sticking up. So I feel better about it now. Remember, if you like Oliver and White videos, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, and I can keep making videos that feature Oliver and White equipment. It doesn't cost anything, but it really helps me out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.